So yeah, we hit 2,000 subscribers. I'll be honest, I was on a little bit of a night out at the time, so I was documenting things as you do when you've had quite a lot of orange juice, of course. Enjoy. Okay, I am very pissed. I just want to say, I'm pissed right now, but I love all of you. You're all amazing. Hello guys, and welcome to FP1, and welcome to a video that I did not think I'd be making anytime soon. 2,000 subscribers, that's a big number. 2,000 people that have clicked that subscribe button. And in the grand scheme of YouTube, that's quite a small thing. But for me, as someone who's been on this platform for 8 years now, it is utterly surreal. So I just want to thank everyone for all the support, especially recently. Like, it's been crazy. I've been reading every single comment, trying to respond to as many comments as I can. And yeah, it's just been incredible to watch the support and how much everyone's enjoying the videos. I just didn't think the channel would get this big. So I just want to thank every single one of you for that. And yeah, there's plenty more to come, so do not worry whatsoever. Also, you may notice a bit of a different setup behind me. I'm in my uni room this week, so this will be the setup from October, so we'll go back to the really rubbish, unironed white sheet everyone's been ripping into me for, but not for much longer. This will be the new setup in the future, so let me know what you think. I quite like it, but yeah, let me know what you think of the new setup down below in the comments. But yeah, today we're here to answer some of your questions. I asked you guys out on Twitter for a Q&A for 2,000 subscribers. If you don't follow me on Twitter, at WillL2000, there's a link down in the description below, so make sure you go check that out so you can join in on these things in the future. But yeah, let's get into things. So the first question that comes from YouTube, actually, I know I just said Twitter, but we're on YouTube. So Smile like 6G says, how old are you? Because I look young as I'm 20, which surprises quite a few people by the sounds of things. Yeah, third year of university as well. Apparently I've got a baby face though. Didn't know that. If you think I do, let me know in the comments. I don't see a problem with that, but hey ho. But yeah, 20 years old. There you go. So the next question was asked quite a lot from quite a few people. You got Jackers saying favourite ever Grand Prix circuit ever used in the 70 years of F1. Steph came in with a similar one saying top 3 tracks of all time. I'll answer that second one because it kind of includes Jackers' question there as well. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I think Monaco's got to be up there. I think it's number 1. I think although it's received a fair bit of hate, let's be honest, especially in recent years, Monaco for me is always a circuit that I've been watching since I was a kid, and it's just magical, that place. So Monaco's got to be up there. Montreal, Canada, we've had some great races there, and for some reason the track is just great fun to drive around. It's in the F1 game, and the races are great fun to watch as well. 2011, wow, what a race that was. So Montreal's going to be up there. The third one's tricky, but I've got to go Silverstone. I'm going to be patriotic on this one. So yeah, they're all 3 of those tracks are currently used on the calendar. Portimao, when that comes in later this year though, that could shift my opinion a little bit. I'm really excited for Portimao. I'm going to do a video on it at some point before we end up racing there in a few weeks time. But Portuguese Grand Prix, got that right. That's Portimao, the Argentinian Grand Prix, Yeah, the Portuguese Grand Prix. It's going to be good. I think it is going to be amazing. You've heard it here first. So the next question comes from Felipe Athea. He said, did you watch the Grand Tour? And if so, did you like it? The Grand Tour, for anyone who doesn't know, is the old Top Gear trio, Clarkson, Hammond and May, heading over to Amazon. For me, I think I share the popular opinion that it's a very good show and that I really, really enjoy it, but it's not what Top Gear was. Top Gear was the OG, it was the funnier one, and yeah, like it's still funny, it's still good, I still recommend it, but Top Gear is where it's at. The new Top Gear, not so much, but the old Top Gear with the same presenters, you cannot fault that. The Understeer podcast comes in with the next one. He says, if Ayrton Senna said Bruno was quicker than him and Karun Chandhok technically finished above Bruno in the 2010 season by virtue of having the same amount of points and less races, was Karun Chandhok one of the greatest Formula 1 drivers of all time? No. Slipstream F1, this is an interesting question, one that's quite a bit of fun. So what did you think was the most overrated aero concept in F1 history? Now, overrated is a tricky one to use, because it's a tricky word to use even, because any aero component that's been added to a car is there to give you some sort of significant performance gain. So I don't think there's any ever component that's been overrated. I mean, you could say this, that there have been some components that have maybe been bigged up in the media a bit more than they should have done. Perhaps the T-wings that we see. We saw them first come in 2017 on the end of the shark fins, and they didn't look particularly great and had a tendency to fall off, which wasn't great either. But yeah, so maybe the T-wings, just because they were spoken about so much and really they don't add a massive amount of extra performance to the car. They're still pretty effective. Like I said, any aero component, it's there for a reason. The T-Wings obviously sending air towards the rear wing, or used to send towards the monkey seat as well. That got banned in 2018. They got banned. So yeah, I mean, the T-Wings, I don't mind them now. They're a bit lower down. They're a little bit out of the way. You can't really see them. So they're not so bad. I didn't like the 2017 ones, though. They just looked awful. So Sam O'Gara says, who is your favourite driver in F2 and F3? Ooh, I don't think I have a favourite driver in F3. I kind of just support anyone. Maybe Liam Lawson. I might go with Liam Lawson. But I don't really have a big driver supporting F3 at the moment. F2 is a bit different, you know. I'm a big Mick Schumacher fan. There was a question actually by the Racing Pilot who said, how do I think Mick will do if he gets to Formula 1? And, ooh, that's a good one. And I think he'll do okay. I don't think he'll be another Bruno Senna. Maybe a little bit better, if that makes sense. But, yeah, definitely supporting Mick in F2. You've got Schwartzman as well, who I really, really like. I think he's massively underrated as well. So Schwartzman could definitely get in there. Who else? Jack Aitken. We can't not love Jack Aitken. The guy is he's just such a personality on the grid, and I'd love to see him in Formula 1. Whether he'll make it, I'm not too sure, but if he does, I would be very, very happy with that. And of course, we cannot forget our Lord and Saviour Roy Nissany as well. Absolute legend, future world champion. Just get him in a Mercedes. Come on. So the next question comes in from Perspective F1. He said, who is your favourite, or what is your favourite livery of all time? I don't know whether mine's a bit of an out there one, but you know, back when I was growing up, you know, I was watching Formula 1 from the age of 1 or 2. I mean, I couldn't really move anywhere else. I was just sort of sat on the sofa being kept an eye while the F1 was on. And you know, the Jaguar cars of that era, you know, 2000 to 2004, some of the best liveries F1 has ever seen and has seen since. I don't know why. I'm a stickler for a green livery, like the 2010 Lotus as well. That caught my eye. So yeah, I like those green liveries, and the Jaguar just got it so perfect with the white and the emerald green, and the Jaguar and the engine cover as well. It was just amazing. I love it. And I feel like I've sort of answered this one already, but Jeb has come in and said, how did you get into F1, and who was your first favourite driver? Well, yeah, I kind of answered that first bit already. You know, it was literally being sat on the sofa as soon as I was out the womb, I was watching F1 because my mum watched it. My mum watched it loads and was religiously, you know, she was a big Damon Hill fan, and then just carried on watching throughout the era of, you know, Schumacher dominance. I just basically sat down and watched it. I didn't really have a favourite driver back then. I would just kind of ask, is it the race with the tunnel, which is obviously Monaco. That was all I kind of saw. I saw cars going around the circuit and I liked it, you know. And I think, yeah, my first word I think was Toyota, having watched the F1 commentary. That's how much I was watching F1 as a kid. It was mental. First favourite driver probably didn't come until I kind of got back into the sport in about 2010, and that was with Mark Webber. I don't know why. I was just kind of drawn to Mark Webber, and that was underdog story at Red Bull with him trying to usurp Sebastian Vettel in 2010 to take that 2010 driver's crown. Sadly, that didn't happen, and he kind of fell away after that. But yeah, Mark Webber was my first driver I properly supported, and obviously Danny Rick is the other one. But yeah, good question there, Jeb. Enjoyed that. Dawny coming in with the all important questions. What is your favourite fruit? Bananas. You know, we love bananas. Bananas are good. Yeah. Get in there, bananas. So the next question comes in from Vehicle Valhalla, and he said, what is your favourite motorsport technical innovations that have been banned? And for me, I've got to go with the double diffuser. So that Brawn double diffuser in 2009 that obviously took that failing Honda team all the way up to, you know, winning both titles in 2009. It was something else, an incredible story. And that double diffuser, it's just so clever. And the way they found that loophole in the regulations. And funnily enough, I ended up bumping into one of the engineers that worked on it a couple of years ago. I had a great chat with him about it. It was just fantastic and really cool just to chat to him and see how it all came about. And yeah, I don't know, I've just been drawn to that. It's a shame that it kind of got banned later on, but yeah, a really clever concept, and you know, good on Brawn, and gave us one of the best stories in Formula 1 in recent history as well. So Tinas from the TF1 show, friend of the show, has come in and said, what is it about me, and there are too many to count, that you love the most? I mean, I don't need to answer this. Let's just have a insert a Tinas reel here. Just enjoy.
You know, it might sound horrible, but it feels like choosing between Grosjean and Magnussen is like choosing between two diseases. Like, but well, let's go to your house. I want to murder you.
like with the intent of murdering you, right?
I think, Ocon got a bit too close to sucking Magnussen's balls at that point and said, you know what, I'll take a wall instead.
But it shows you that, again, Ocon did what you call a cost-benefit analysis, and he decided to rather have an accident than suck Kevin Magnussen's balls.
Don't take away his pride and what more do you want to take away from Antonio Giovinazzi? Take away all of his points as well. Oh my goodness,
it's awful. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. For me, I would say put Albon in that seat. No,
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Put Idol in that seat.
What is it with you and Alex Albon? Like, just let the man figure out his way in qualifying in Red Bull. I mean,
I'm sorry, it's a little tick now.
We know Albon is behind Verstappen. It's like people every race weekend, the first tweet after qualifying, gap between Albon and Verstappen 4/10. It's not like we don't know. It's beside the point. So please, Will, just leave Alex alone.
I had to set you off. I'm sorry. I had to set you off. What I was... So yeah, Tina's absolutely love you. Cannot wait to be back on their channel again. He's just an absolute class lad. If you've not subscribed to the TF1 show, go and do it. He is underrated as hell. So go subscribe to that channel right now. Great lad. Love him. So Daniel Philpott has said, who is the most underrated driver in F1 history? With a gif of Grosjean. So, we're not... No. To begin with, just no. That's a tough one, though. I think you've got to look at someone like Van Dorn. Jean-Eric Verne is another one. Who I think, had he been picked up by Red Bull, would have done very, very well. Look at the current grid. Danny Kvyat. He's not a brilliant season this year, but I think he's definitely underrated. Looking at... He's obviously had a bit of bad luck with that failure in the British Grand Prix, but before then he was doing really well after a poor qualifying. In fairness, yeah, Kvyat's qualifying performances aren't great, but you know what? I don't know. I'm just attracted to the guy. He's great. I came out really wrong. I don't want about here. But no, in serious, like Kvyat, he's underrated. Just get him in the right situation, and he will prosper. I hope he can stay on the grid next year. I'm not too confident on it though. So Brittany, at Britain F1 has said, if you were an F1 driver, who would you want as your teammate? There's two ways I'd answer this. If I'm looking at myself now, I've had my actual driving ability, which isn't particularly great. Let's be honest. I'd probably go with a Mahavir Raghunathan, so at least then I'd look all right. He might take me out every now and then, but I'd at least be quicker than him. If I was, let's say, of F1 caliber, who would I want as a teammate? It's got to be someone like Danny Rick or Lando Norris, one of the two McLaren drivers for next year, because they'd just be class just to get along with, and they'd just be a lot of fun, great personalities to be around all the time, I think. So yeah, good question though, I enjoyed that. So next one then from BMPHF1 said, as a fellow content creator who loves pineapple on pizza, yes, good lad, you're on it, you're onto something here. This is how you get onto the channel. Just love pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry, I've offended a lot of you there. But yeah, he said, what other sports are you interested in other than Formula 1? F1 is the one that I'll watch the most and know the most about. I guess American football comes in second place. Only other sport I really watch regularly. Used to play it, wasn't any good if I'm honest, but hey, it was good fun, and it's gaining traction in the UK as well. We're seeing more games being played there in the regular season at Wembley, which is great. I've been going to pretty much all of those, and yeah, if you've not watched American football, get into it. It's a really fun sport to watch, and it's not just shit rugby. That will piss me off if you put that in the comments. And our last question then comes from F1 House Official, who said, who is the better F1 driver, Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc? I thought I'd end on this one because this is not an easy question to answer at all. The tricky thing is as well, is they're both at different stages in their careers. Max, they're of similar age, but Max has been in the sport for what, 4 or 5 years now at this point? Charles is in his 3rd season. And I don't think either driver has hit their peak yet. And maybe barring last year, I think was the best time we could compare them because they were in the closest match machinery. But I think we'll have to wait until 2021 before we can really see who's the better out there. I have a sneaky suspicion it could be Charles. And I think Max is going to peak first, but then Charles is going to peak later, but peak higher than Verstappen, if that makes sense. Like they'll be when they're at their best, Charles will be better than Verstappen. I think that's going to be controversial. The Dutch fans are going to kill me in the comments for saying that. I'm not saying either of them are bad drivers. I think Max is an incredibly talented driver. Will he win a world championship? if he's got the cars to do it, definitely. Same thing with Charles. You know, they both need their teams to, you know, get their acts together and find a way of challenging Mercedes. And I think 2021 or 2022, sorry, when we get the new regs, is going to be the big one for that. And if either of Red Bull and Ferrari can find something there, we could see a very, very exciting scrap at the top. But honestly, I would love to see Verstappen and Charles in the same car. That would be incredibly exciting because I think they are very, very closely matched, and that would be a rivalry to, you know, to rival Senna and Prost or who else am I thinking of? Hunt and Lauda. You know, I'd love to see that. I don't think it'll ever happen because they're both on long-term contracts with their current teams, but yeah, it would be very, very exciting to see. But I'm going to say Charles just slightly edge Verstappen, which I think is probably the unpopular opinion. Not the opinion of most, but hey, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, that was it for the Q&A. I tried to answer as many questions as I could and keep it in a time slot that people will still watch. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. Let me know any other questions you have down in the comments below. I do try and respond to every single comment, so yeah, let me know down below and I'll see if I can answer as many of those as I can. But yeah, just to finish off, thank you again for 2,000 subscribers. It's been utterly incredible, and this roller coaster of a YouTube journey that I've been on, it's just been something else. You know, that's like all of the channels that have been supporting me and promoting me out on Twitter as well. You know, Josh Revel as well. I've got to mention Josh because he's just an incredible guy, one of the nicest guys on YouTube, and has just done so much in terms of giving me support and giving me advice on what to do. Obviously, joining in a couple of the videos down in the channel as well. So big thanks to everyone though in the F1 content community as well. You might have, if you haven't heard what that is, big group of YouTubers, absolute legends, every single one of you. So thank you so much for that. You know, it was, yeah, it's just been an incredible few months since that Vettel video or since that Ferrari video went out, and it just kind of blew up. So yeah, thank you all again. I'm going to stop rambling because I'm just rambling now. But yeah, I will see you again in the next video. Until then though, have a good one.